Dynamic Duo with Nguyễn Ngọc Lan Khuê from Amity International University Saigon South and Đoàn Lưu Nguyệt Minh from Phạm Ngọc Thạch University of Medicine. You have exactly 5 minutes for your presentation and we have a timer on the screen. You may now start.
Hey, Dynamic Duo, do you have coffee with high-quality Vietnamese coffee beans icon?
Absolutely. So you know about this icon already.
Oh my God, I hear them talking about that a lot.
Here you are.
Thank you.
Well, up until now, we chose coffee based on our familiar taste or the coffee brand reputation. We didn't have any tools to identify the quality of the beans, right? And thanks God, it's now easier for me to find high-quality coffee beans.
I see. So only quality beans have this icon, right? So from now on, I will only buy coffee with this icon because we know a good cup of coffee comes from quality beans.
Exactly. We all love coffee. We are enthusiastic about it. Who doesn't want a good cup of coffee, huh?
And that actually makes me feel so proud of our country because we have our coffee recognized internationally.
Right. Have you heard about the arguments of the red and green coffee dispensers in the middle of the street and the coffee talks event too? All of my customers excitedly discussed about them all day long.
Oh gosh, that was pretty awesome. I actually passed by the 2 red and green coffee dispensers and it was crowded there.
Really? How was it?
The red dispenser contained coffee made from red cherry beans and the green coffee dispenser contained coffee made from green beans, and I tasted them to vote for the one with higher quality.
So which one did you vote for?
The red one, because I thought it was more fragrant, but some others, they voted for the green one because they liked its mild taste.
Yeah. Their arguments were also uploaded on social media and on newspapers. It's worse on everywhere. Have you seen the video of their arguments?
Of course. And so many coffee experts joined in the arguments too. They said that the red cherry beans were recognized to have higher quality.
I read that news on newspaper too. It was all about quality coffee beans make quality coffee.
Actually, I was both curious and a bit suspicious about that, so I registered to their experiment in the Coffee Talks event.
Hey, you went there too.
Oh gosh, it was my best decision of the day. I met so many coffee experts, coffee enthusiasts, and celebrities there. Philip Nguyen was there, Jacques Đăng Khoa was there, and so many journalists was there, and this awesome icon was introduced there too.
This icon is a real godsend. Many coffee sellers like me also shared their stories during the event. We did struggle to find high-quality coffee beans. We all care about the beans which make good coffee for you.
I agreed. And coffee buyers like me can only buy coffee with this icon only when you sellers decide to sell them.
Talking about that, many agree on how useful this icon is. By the way, have you seen the newspapers this morning? Philip Nguyen and Jacques Đăng Khoa also share their experience towards this helpful icon.
Oh, it's everywhere on newspaper, TV, radio, and on the internet, making me feel so totally convinced. But what actually called me to action was that poster about the icon at your front door.
I'm happy to hear that. Sellers like me are trying to introduce this new icon to everyone. We love coffee and we really want to share it to everyone. By the way, have you seen the recap video?
Isn't that the one that captured the campaign highlights, right?
Right.
Oh, what an interesting journey. And I think this icon has really helped to bring our Vietnamese coffee to get global recognition.
This coffee talk is our customer journey of our plan, and please feel free to raise your questions towards our communication plan. This is the end of our presentation. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dynamic Duo, for your dynamic presentation. And the jury board, now let's start our 5 minutes Q&A session.
It's a fun presentation. But to be very honest, I got a bit distracted. First, the way that you presented, you believe that your icon so powerful that it actually can generate talk. And then you position your idea as a coffee talk, and then you start talking a lot about quality coffee. And then I am a bit lost. I don't know that, because to me, creative-wise, your icon is very average. It doesn't have any power to generate anything. And then you have the idea of the coffee talk. What's the power from there in order just to get people to talk, except for the fact that you both talking to each other a lot? So to me, I found both the idea and the icon, but the way that you make the presentation give a lot of energy to the presentation itself. I'm talking about the power of the icon, the power of the idea, whether or not it's going to change or it's going to answer the brief, which I'm not very sure.
So actually, in the first phase of our campaign, we would actually raise the controversy about the icon. Because we talked about the coffee dispensers on the street, so it's kind of people pass by the coffee dispensers and they tested it and would raise some kind of arguments about which one is actually better. So that's how we gained attention about the icon. And how we emphasize the importance of it is in phase 2, when we actually introduce it later after the campaign. It's when we actually start educating people to change the attitude about what actually makes really good coffee.
I like the way you start with that controversial, the argument, the provocative about red and green. And you mentioned the next step when you have the government certify that icon. So can you explain more about that? I think it's good to have a nationwide, a government authorized icon. So how you make that? How you make it into a key attributions to the campaign?
Actually, I remember in the brief, we also asked the question to our client, and they said that this project has involvement kind of for the government, and this icon, because we think it will really help to improve the quality of Vietnamese coffee in general. It help our export, and it really gains a kind of economic edge to our country. So I think if we use those benefits to address that to the government, they will be interested, because it's not just about Nestle, but it's about the whole coffee industry as a whole.
This is not the answer. My question is how you advocate that to the government so they make it a certified icon of coffee in Vietnam. The process, because this is all about your PR effort, getting the acknowledgement, the attentions of the government. It's very important here. It's the very difficult task for PR team to advocate that to the government. So the question is how you do that? Have you been thinking about that?
Actually, we think if we raise the conversation about coffee talks everywhere, and to make it certified, it's because this icon, it says it really provides high quality beans. So it's the conversation that gain the attention of governments, because we will invite coffee experts to talk about it and convince the government that it's a right thing to do.
The suggestions here that you need to identify the government stakeholder. For example, here, Ministry of Agriculture, and advocate that directly to the ministry and have the ministry authorize that. It is not about coffee expert, it's about authority. So you need to identify, the big part of PR is identify the right stakeholders, the right influencer. So you need to identify the ministry and who is the influencer there. Yeah.
But actually, because I think the brief it mentioned us like only target the consumers, so we didn't really think about like government stakeholders in this one. Because like in the brief, they already said that the icon is a government certified thing.
Okay. Thank you, Ho Mi Soin.